from 2016. IPA Review features Andrew Bushnell on Trump, chief critic of American conservatism, as a review of George Hawley's right-wing Critics of American Conservatism. The article is deficient. Libertarians criticizing critics of conservatism is always going to be problematic. Libertarians don't tend to understand conservatives, otherwise they would claim some of the values of the broad church of conservatism. Precisely where the deficiency is from is not certain, but I believe Hawley has written better than Bushnell understands. Conservatism is ancient and predates progressivism and has an antecedent base which is firmer. However, by focusing only on post-World War II conservatism, the author is able to get their thesis. Conservatism existed in the United States politics during the 1930s and 40s, but 5 successive terms of Democrat presidency had meant there needed to be a reboot and reform of the broad conservative movement. Republicans had been competitive with Dems, but Dem corruption and their media ally had bruised the confidence of the conservative movement. But a young prosecutor in Nixon and a World War II General Eisenhower provided stable leadership. Meanwhile, a media group think tank called National Review provided intellectual underpinning and discussion for the broad church conservatives. The success of the progressives had nothing to do with a grand battle being waged, but a political cycle which stabilized things. Abysmal press would promote Dem government under any circumstances, and people sometimes believe them and sometimes don't. The Republicans got clever about campaigning under Reagan and learned they couldn't get dogged fighting the past, but needed to provide policy for today. So when George W. Bush served out his second term, the GOP stopped defending him. Trump is a conservative from within the broad church. Libertarians don't like him because he isn't one of them. Trump is not fighting to rehabilitate GOP or fight their old battles. Trump has a Reagan playbook of fighting the battles that matter now. Trump is pragmatic, and this confuses theoreticians. Trump was once a darling of progressives, but that was because he was in business, not politics. Meanwhile, Trump's progressive opponent is loved by the press and demonstrably corrupt, and the Libertarian candidate is trying to find Aleppo, or a head of state. Rumors now run internationally that apparently Saudi spy who partners Hillary Clinton kept a life insurance policy of emails left in her ex-husband's computer, and the FBI found it, and so the insurance policy has been cashed in early, and the FBI investigating a witch on Halloween had been incriminating evidence on her familiar wiener. One person who knows how to profit from central planning is Hillary Clinton. The Chicago Tribune is withdrawing support from her and suggesting that Democrats replace Hillary. But corrupt news, like the Tribune, knew everything now known about Hillary as they supported her days ago. Maybe they're only backing a tribe, but not a policy, and maybe they want to find another crook. But I note the press, who had accepted Hillary's corruption, are now denouncing her Saudi spy handler. Donald Trump's speech at Gettysburg is frightening media. They have supported and protected inside corruption for a long time. Trump will clean up the festering wound and make America great again.